Welcome to Kenpo University. My name's Al Babinick. Ted's going to be helping us out today. And today we're talking about some of the change-ups that we could do off of like thundering hammers, the sleeper, that type of thing. So if you know your groups, now there's a lot of change-ups that we can do, but I'm going to try to stay within the group of they're throwing a right step through punch and you're stepping off left and doing a block or a parry. So I'm trying to stay within some confines so that, because we could talk forever about this if we really wanted to. When I'm talking about a change-up, what a change-up means is I start one technique and something happens. Whether it's your fault, whether it's their fault, who knows? But something happens. It's usually they do something to stop you, and you have to go into something else. You have to go into a different technique. You have to change up what you were doing and go into another technique. Now again, I'm going to stay within the confines of right step through punches today, but if you get the hang of this, you could go anywhere you want with this. All right? So let's take a look at a few examples. We're going to start off with the sleeper. Ted, if you could help me out. So with the sleeper, I'm going to go on a little bit of an angle so you guys can see. He's throwing his punch at me. I step in, I block. I try to do my ridge hand, but he's more of a boxer. You see how his hand's up? So I try to do this, and he just blocks it right there. Well, I could go right into flashing mace. I could break this arm up. Now from here, as this hand's circling around, I could go into flashing mace and hit this way. I could circle it around and go into thundering hammers right this way. From here, I could circle it and go into flashing wings. So do you see how you can really change this technique up and go into a ton of other techniques if you really want to? Let's talk about thundering hammers. So he's more of a street fighter than a boxer. So he's got one hand down. He's coming in with his other hand high. So as he throws his punch in, I'm trying to do thundering hammers. Ooh, oh man, he blocked me. Oh no, what will I do? Oh, the sleeper. I got him. So if we want to go into the sleeper, you just go, oh, I'll slide right up that arm. That worked out pretty good, right? So you're never really stuck when you know your change-ups or when you know, hey, I could go from this to this or this to this. All right, so another version of thundering hammers is if he smothers my forearm block, so he steps in, he throws a punch at me, I do my block, as I'm coming in, he just drops that hand down. I'm going to use the equation formula. I'm going to add something, all right? So before I do my change-up, I add this punch, I get my check in here, then I can get behind and get into my technique. All right, so I'll go into flashing wings, I think that was. But you could just go into, by the way, a good change up there is the backbreaker. If you want to go into the backbreaker, I'd keep doing it all the time. But you could change up into the backbreaker also, but that's outside what we're talking about. As you're going through, we have when you're talking about these techniques, and I'm just going to do 7. You've got 2 horizontals, okay, which is I could punch, that's attacking mace. I could do an elbow, that's flashing wings. I could do the hanging hands techniques where your hand is hanging down by your side, which is dance of death, thundering hammers, and the sleeper. And we could do the vertical techniques or the circular techniques, which are flashing wings, or I'm sorry, wrong technique, flashing mace and taming the mace. So flashing mace goes up on the circle, taming the mace comes down on the circle as you're going through. So now you could pick out other techniques if you want to, but those are the ones that I'm staying within today. So here's an example with attacking mace, here's how it's supposed to go, and then we'll do like a change up on it. So attacking mace out of yellow, by the way. So he throws a punch at me, I step back, I block, I get my punch in there, and it's supposed to make him wobble back. There's my counter grab. From here, he's actually pulling me into the front kick to the groin. I land with my check and my uppercut. So I should have landed with that uppercut right there. Now, one of the things that I do, or I added to the technique just to make it a little bit more fun, if my knee's in front of his knee, if I step off to this corner, I don't know if you can see, but that's going to definitely be a takedown. So all I do is step from this corner to that corner, and I can do the takedown on the guy. I believe it was just originally written up to the front kick. I think Mr. Planis does the check the knee and the uppercut, and then I added the step off to the corner and break his knee. So you may know the technique a slightly different way than any of these, but that's what we got going, all right? So let's do a change-up on it. So he's throwing a step-through punch. I step back, I block, I punch, and maybe I just didn't punch hard enough because I didn't go to a forward bow or something. Here's flashing, if I want to go into flashing. So I can't really just collapse my elbow, so I can't go into flashing wings. This is flashing mace, by the way, in case you're wondering. So from here, I could just snap this up, hammer, double down, and hit up as we're going through. So, but you could have gone into Thundering Hammers as this hand's coming up. You could go to Thundering Hammers, Dance of Death, whatever. Let's go to do Dance of Death. So for Attacking Mace, he's throwing his punch. I step back, I block. Maybe I didn't punch hard enough to move him, or he's, big guy, he won't move on me. So now from here, I'm coming up. I would just snap his elbow just because it's an accident, and then shuffle forward, get into my positional check with my ridge hand going up to the groin, and we'll go into Dance of Death. So you could shoot into Dance of Death from this technique. So we could go a lot of different directions if we really want to with these change-ups, and just keep playing with them and see what you see, all right? The best thing to do, once you know all your techniques in Kenpo, play with them, do change-ups like this, and again, I'm staying within kind of a confine of techniques. If you just let yourself go running with everything, you'll see all kinds of stuff. But the easiest place to look is your groupings, okay? So if you know your groups, the easiest place to look for what change-up should I do is other techniques in the group. Thank you for watching this video production from Kenpo University.